and welcome to SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak calling in remotely from New York City, and of course my partner Mike Brenner is there in studio in Costa Rica. We of course are the Odds Couple, and this is our regular Thursday show for MLB, our MLB Odds Couple show, where we take a look ahead to the upcoming weekend series, and we also update our records. Let's throw it up, Mike Brenner. Look, I'm still having a good year in baseball overall on my betting and on my private picking accounts, but I've actually gone negative in this show, which I'm going to try to reverse. I don't know what to say. I can just do what I do, but you continue to be nicely positive, Mike Brenner, so it's a nice record for you. Do you think you can keep it up?
I do think I could keep it up, and also, Pete, you're doing very good on your totals. Let's not forget that. And, also, the viewers need to know that. What they also need to know is your real reason for being up in New York City. He's in Harlem, and they're filming Harlem Nights Part 2, starring Pistol Pete Loshak.
I don't know. Maybe I should just stick to totals. I had a couple of crappy losers with the Mets and the Yankees -1 last time in our last show, but let's take a look ahead to the congratulations, Mike Brenner, on your continued success in MLB so far this year, and let's take a look ahead to what's coming up this weekend. First of all, first thing that pops out at me is the Washington at the Mets, and Washington is just feels like the kind of team that can go on the road into a weak teams and have some value. We've seen it already with Atlanta. I'm not the Mets are obviously a way better team than Atlanta, but still feels like Washington might have some value in this series overall. They probably won't be a huge favorite overall in this series. What do you think?
Well, I agree with you to a certain extent, but right now DeGrom and Harvey are pitching pretty well. I really think it's going to be a battle, and I haven't seen any listed pitchers yet for Washington, but it is that typical series rival. I would probably stay off myself as far as the series, but it depends on who's going to be lining up pitching, when's Rourke going to be in, and so forth. What are your thoughts on Rourke? I know you've had a good read on him the last few years.
Yeah, in general, I'm looking to either bet on Rourke or pass on his games, and he's definitely pitching one of these series. He's pitching on Friday. He's pitching on Friday. That's the thing. He's going up against DeGrom, who's as good or better than Rourke. But again, it feels like Washington has a team advantage here, and because of how well DeGrom's been pitching, Washington might be a dog in that game on Friday. So
they could be. And you know what? I do like Washington on second halves in this series. I think because I don't think the pitchers are going to go too deep, and I think that's where they'll win. This is where they'll be able to to get in there and make the noise that they'll make. Now, also you got the Cubs at Cincinnati series with Lester, Arrieta, and Lackey going up against Adelman and Reed so far. No listed pitcher, for Cincy on Sunday. But I was
actually I'm seeing Bronson Arroyo on Sunday.
Oh God! Don't mention that name. They said that they're going to give him 2 more games to prove his worth.
And I think that at home against the Cubs, it ain't going to happen. Wow, 2 more games. That's kind of sad to hear because I wanted him to pitch, 10 or 15 more times and fade him in most of those spots. But because the problem is every time a pitcher like Arroyo starts and you think he's going to get crushed, and he does, that brings him closer to getting kicked out of the rotation, and then you're going to have fewer opportunities to bet on him in the future. But I have to think. I mean, he had a better than expected start his last time out. He did okay at Coors, but I have to think here at home against that Cubs lineup, he's going to get absolutely obliterated, and Cubs team total over in the Cubs -1 is going to be a good bet.
Absolutely. I'm thinking the same. And at 40 years old, Pete, when they because I'm not exaggerating the article, 2 more starts to prove it for the rotation. That's a lot of fucking pressure. Excuse my language. My mom would slap me. That's a lot of pressure. But Pistol Pete, I think that pressure is going to get to him. I think he caves, and I think the first 5 is going to be the ticket casher. Very similar to Tim Lincecum, who you and we nailed that one last year.
Yeah, that's unfortunate to hear because he's a good veteran, and now they're telling him you have 2 starts or you're gone. I mean, maybe he should have taken it on himself to quit, before it got to this point. But yeah, I think from a betting perspective, it has to be a big bet against him. And there's 2 other starters who we were expecting to get hit a little bit, who have done better than expected. But I'm thinking they also might be in for spots where they'll be very vulnerable. And that's on Saturday, Jared Weaver at home against Miami. Now I know Miami can be a little bit of an easier place to pitch. I'm sorry, San Diego can be a little bit of an easier place to pitch. And Weaver has been surprisingly effective considering his diminished stuff. But I'm thinking this might be a spot where Miami gets to him. And then James Shields as well at home against Cleveland. Cleveland. Cleveland has a big lineup, and I think they might jump all over him as well. Thinking about fading both Jared Weaver and Shields on Saturday.
I like that, Pete. I especially like the Weaver one, and also Shields, because he's another one that's getting into his mind mentally, because Straley's going to be on the mound facing Weaver. I think he's going to finally put that game together. I really do, and I look for this batting order to start teeing off. This is going to be a nice one. I think you're going to see a dominant series by Miami. There's another one, Pete, that I think is interesting on Sunday. All right, you got the Yankees going up against Pittsburgh, and Nova's going to be facing his old team in the Yankees. That's something to look at, and he'll be following Taillon, who has an excellent ERA right now. I think it's 0.90 or something.
On Sunday.
Yeah, well, Taillon's going to be pitching Saturday, then Sunday Nova. All right, again.
Right.
Yeah, and Friday you got CC Sabathia going up against Trevor Glass now. CC 2-0, 1.47. He just keeps doing what Bartolo Colon keeps doing.
Exactly.
Any thoughts on the Yanks Pitt series?
Yeah, it's an interesting series. Nova's going up against that guy Montgomery on Sunday, and Montgomery is a young lefty with good stuff, so that might be a nice spot to think about taking the under. In general, I'm not too keen on betting Pittsburgh right now, especially after losing Starling Marte. He's out for a while, and I think they might be in for an extended run of being overvalued and being a very, very sluggish team offensively. So the under might be a good play there for sure, because Nova has been absolutely dealing. He looks very reliable, and even against the Yankees lineup, I think he might give a good start. So the under might be a decent play there if it's not too low. Hopefully if you can get 8 on that one, might be good.
I like that too, because Pittsburgh has been struggling against the lefties, and Montgomery, like you said, has got a sharp left arm. You got Boston and Baltimore. Here's a 9-6 Boston team going up against a 9-4 Baltimore team. You're looking at Pomerantz and Wright, I think, for Friday and Saturday. Do you know who's scheduled to toe the rubber for Baltimore on Friday and Saturday?
For Baltimore on Friday and Saturday, what I'm seeing here is it's Dylan Bundy against Pomerantz, and Pomerantz, has inconsistent, but he has some good stuff when he's on. He's really on. But Bundy, as I said in preseason, I said that I expected Bundy to have a good year. It's definitely panned out. Until he gets injured or something comes down with him physically, I think we can expect his excellence over the first 2 games to be roughly maintained. Boston, though, again, is obviously they have that offense. So that's a game that's certainly very interesting. 2 strong offenses and 2 starting pitchers who I'm kind of liking. So I'm going to wait to see what the lines are on that one and look into it a little bit more. But I'm not too keen on betting against Bundy, that's for sure.
Absolutely. There's another one. You got Houston, and you've called it. You had a good feel, Pete. They're 10-5 so far. They're really starting to pick up momentum. Yeah. Going up against an 8-8 Tampa Bay team that I think is playing a little bit better than people expected. You got Fires on the mound tomorrow. Any thoughts on Tampa Bay possibly getting the best of Houston in that first game, and then maybe from then on maybe lose the series?
I mean, in general, I would say that it can be a little bit tricky to play in Tampa Bay. So I'm wary of going too hard on any road team in Tampa Bay when Tampa Bay is playing, an adequate brand of baseball like they're playing right now, and especially if they're, a decent-sized home underdog. Like they like Fulmer, classic example. Fulmer went into Tampa Bay, and people were like, this is a great bet here going up against Andriese. Look what happened. Tampa Bay won the game. They even cashed the first 5, and that's a classic example of what you see in Tampa Bay a lot. So I'm very, very careful about betting against Tampa Bay when they're at home, and especially when they're kind of a home underdog, which we might see a lot in here, considering how awesome Houston is this year. So that's a tricky series. I'm not going to be betting. I'm not going to be jumping over Houston too much for sure. And there might be spots where I'm taking Tampa Bay. I'll have to see what the lines are and how the series progresses. But those are my thoughts on that series.
Great breakdown, Pistol. Seriously, that's some good information for the viewers. All right, here's one you really had a call on a lot of these guys. You got the Cardinals playing Milwaukee. You got Wainwright, or should we call him Pound Right, or Tomato Can right now, going up against Peralta, 3-0 with a 2.05, and then following that by Chase Anderson, who's off to a hell of a good start as well, 2-0 with a 1.50. Lynn will be on the mound for that one, and then there's Jimmy Nelson following behind that. Any thoughts on Milwaukee getting the best of the Cards?
Yeah, I think that, in general, Milwaukee is playing a little bit better than people were expected, and I think that's somewhat for real. They got that guy Thames who's crushing the ball, and St. Louis is on a downslope right now, and I think that might not be an illusion either. And Wainwright, I think he'll throw in some solid starts for sure. He'll get it. They're not going to pull him out of the rotation, but he's hittable and vulnerable in general, I think. And Peralta started out well. I think he's going to regress. He's sure to regress a little bit, but yeah. Considering Wainwright's reputation, probably not going to be a very big favorite line here for Milwaukee at all, if anything. Yeah, I would be leaning Milwaukee in that one, and in general, leaning Milwaukee in this series for sure.
Me too, Pete. And there's another one right behind it. Got some good stuff. You got the 10-6 Colorado Rockies at home. Chatwood's going to be on the mound Friday, facing Cueto. Now that one I think is going to be a battle. I'm maybe even thinking about an under. But as far as the whole series, I like Colorado because Moore and Samardzija are going to follow Cueto. And, come on, they're both in the midst of major struggles. Samardzija also is being, he's on the hot seat for the rotation or going to the bullpen. And that was just brought up recently. So I think that's going to put a lot of pressure on him. Zenzatelia is going to be pitching on Saturday. I like Colorado at home in this one.
Yeah, I agree with you. And also, Colorado has, first of all, when you're talking about, pitching trends and pitching changes, you can throw half of that out the window when it comes to games at Coors because there's a lot of unexpected stuff that happens. But Colorado's beefed up their bullpen, and they have gotten good results for that. And San Francisco has a very vulnerable bullpen in general. So that's also an advantage that Colorado will probably have in those games late. So I'm agreeing with you, Mike Brenner. I would definitely be leaning Colorado in that series for sure.
Absolutely. I'm going to put 3 series out here, picks out here today, Pete, and we'll verify, what the lines will be. And I'm not worried about it because I think all 3 of them are going to be solid plays. So if you will, make sure you include this in the ticket for our viewers. But I'm going to be taking Milwaukee to win that series over the Cards.
Okay.
I'm going to be taking Colorado to win that series at home against the Giants.
Okay.
And then I'm going to absolutely ride Miami to win that series on the road. I love it. I wouldn't even be surprised if they get a sweep on the road.
All right, I agree with all 3 of those picks pretty solidly there, Mike Brenner. There are no series lines out that I'm seeing right now, but they might be out, tonight or more likely early tomorrow. And when I see those lines, I will certainly find out what they are, and I'll quote them to you, and you can confirm at the time. Yeah,
we could even bring it up on the live show tomorrow if you have those numbers by then. So that would be awesome.
I can quote you the lines, and if you want to go with them, you can, and if not, you can pass. But for sure, I'm agreeing with all 3 of those leans preliminarily. Absolutely, Mike Brenner.
All right. Well, fantastic, Pistol. I can't wait till you get back. All right. There's just something about being in the studio. That magic happens. Yeah. But we make it happen anywhere, by God, because we're the damn odds couple. So I want to let the viewers know also to click that subscribe button and hit that like button on the videos, please, guys. Even if you don't like us, all right? We want to stay around. We love what we do, and it doesn't cost you anything. It's the sharpest tool in the shed. Pistol Pete, any parting words from New York City? And what time is the rehearsals for the Harlem Nights Part 2?
No parting words from New York City. I'm just going to dig into the NBA lines today to figure out if I have any strong opinions, and if I do, I will definitely tweet them out. And if I get my opinions before the show that you're going to be doing with Al McWordy today, I will send you a message, and you can include them in the show if you want.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, why don't you do that? Because I think our viewers would like that. And all right, guys, you heard it. This is the Odds Couple. We're coming to you. Stay tuned. Pistol Pete's going to be coming back tomorrow live from New York City. Pistol Pete, have a great day. Have some New York pizza for me, and you better bring me something home.
All right. Thanks so much.
Well, this episode of The Odds Couple is over. But if you give us a like and click SBR's logo at the bottom of the screen to subscribe, then you'll get all the upcoming videos as soon as they come out. And don't forget to take advantage of our website. There's free picks, live betting lines, and sportsbook reviews and ratings guides, and a whole lot more. Check it out now.